Hey everybody, it's Frozen and thanks for joining me. So I'll be completely honest with you guys. I just didn't have a lot of will to film last weekend. I actually had to put my cat Kira down. I had to put her to sleep last weekend and I just didn't feel like filming. So instead of turning into a top 10 reasons why you should backpack channel, I figured I would just take this week and just give you guys a little bit of a status update. I think that'll be way better than turning into one of those loser channels that talk about backpacking but don't actually do any backpacking. You know the types. So I got a lot of updates for you. First off, let me go back to the cat thing because I really want to thank you guys for your support. I had thrown out some things on Instagram saying that Kira, my cat of 15 years, who I got when I moved out of my parents' house into my first apartment, had to be put to sleep because she had severe kidney failure. It hit me really hard. It happened really fast. It was really unexpected. One day she just stopped eating. I got her a blood test that weekend, and 5 days later she was gone. So yeah, I had lots of people messaging me, just offering their support, telling me their story, and it helped a lot. I do appreciate that. So stemming off that, I was able to do a little project that I've been wanting to do for a while down here. So first off, Chrissy has two kids, Tucker and Scarlett. Scarlett actually kicked me out of my office because we wanted to separate the two because all they do at night is just kind of gab all night and they never go to sleep. So separating them was logical. They go right to sleep at 8 o'clock and that's that. But I ended up losing my office. So what I started doing last weekend was actually got out the old hammer and nails, went up to Home Depot, got some wood, and I started building my office right across the hallway over here, and it's coming along nicely. This weekend I was able to finish all the framing and start on the electrical work, so I'm really happy with the progress of that. It's kind of taken my mind off of my cat, which I miss very much. I know, it's just a cat, but man, they feel like part of the family after a while, so especially her. She helped me through a lot of depression and anxiety filled nights, and she was there through it all. So Kira, great cat, but she's no longer with us, and like I said, I appreciate the support. Second, I wanted to talk about a couple toys, a couple pieces of gear, new stuff that I'll be trying out. So as you guys all know, I use the Dutchware continuous ridgeline to hang my tarp for a couple reasons. I used to be one of the guys that tie the one end of the tarp to one tree and the other end of the tarp to the other tree, and that was fine for me. Well, over time, I realized that creates a little bit of unnecessary stress on the middle of a tarp, especially a Dyneema composite tarp, like the hammock gear one that I have. So I switched over to continuous ridgeline, not only for the the strength and stability of the tarp, but just to make it easier to center on the tree, attach it to the tree. There's no knots that I have to worry about, and that worked great. Every once in a while I have to retie the prusik knots on here to hold the tarp together, but for the most part it was really, really cool, and it really worked well for me to fill that need of my backpacking gear. Recently I had switched over to some Evo loops by a company called Myers Tech Hammock Labs. I believe that's the company name. Jeff Myers. He runs a store on Facebook and eBay, and I really, really enjoyed his Evo loops, which were kind of like soft, continuous loops with a button knot that kind of attaches your tree straps to the tree without any kind of hardware like the Dutchware Dutch clips. So that lasted my entire through hike and a little bit longer because I did backpack with the Evo loops. And he had reached out to me via email when I got back from the AT, offering some more Evo loops, which I gladly took, even though they are still perfect. I don't see any fraying or wear and tear in them at all, but somebody's going to send me some free stuff, especially stuff that I love, then of course, thank you, Jeff, appreciate it. But he also is letting me try a new product of his called the Jeff Myers Continuous Ridgeline, which is awesome in my initial testing. So check this out. On the Dutchware Continuous Ridgeline, we have a little hook that you tie on one end of the tree, not tie, but hook on one end of the tree. And then we have a wasp that the line runs around the tree and then it connects to the wasp. It goes through the mouth and around its wing. Well, in the morning, especially on those cold mornings, it was really difficult to get that line out of the wasp wing. And I was just getting sick and tired of it. It was also fraying the line a little bit. but you know, you're always constantly moving where that attachment point for the wasp is all the time, depending on how far your trees are apart. You know, I never really used the same trees more than once throughout the trip. So Jeff's continuous ridgeline is very similar. It has the prusik knots, so you can kind of move them back and forth around the ridgeline to center it. It's a continuous ridgeline, but on one end he has kind of like an Evo loop. It's like a soft continuous loop with a button knot, and that goes right around the tree and attaches very, very easily. You can even do it one-handed, which is great. And on the other end, it's kind of like this plastic toggle that you can lock into place. You can slide it wherever you want, lock it into place, and then you can actually wrap the line around with one hand if you choose to, and that you can actually hear the click snapping it into place. So I'm going to give it a try. Can't say anything about it yet, but just based on his other products that I have, the Evo loops, it's going to be amazing. Now, I haven't tested the continuous ridgeline from Dutch versus Jeff Myers yet. That'll be in a later video. I'll give my full review on both of them probably at that point, and we'll just see how it works in the field. Another new piece of gear, and this was semi-unexpected. I was talking to Chris from Light AF, and we were talking about, you know, my timeline for the PCT, and I would more than likely, you know, be needing a frame in my backpack. Well, to my surprise, this came in the mail the other day. This is the brand new Curve 40 with a full suspension. So this guy has 2 aluminum stays in it, very comfortable shoulder straps, and a full-on hip belt. So if I was going to hike the PCT, this would more than likely be the pack that I would be bringing. So the reason why I was really curious about having a pack with a suspension, a frame inside of it, was because on my AT through hike, I brought the Arc Haul. It worked out great, but man, there is just too much going on with the Arc Haul. It is a great pack, don't get me wrong, but there are so many points that failure could happen that pack's getting up there. It now has over 1,100, 1,200 miles on it, and it's time to start thinking about a new pack. I wouldn't want to start using it on a fresh through hike, though it would probably last, don't get me wrong. It does need a new hip belt and a new carbon stay, but this guy, I think this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to find interesting. And what I want to show you is a lot of people were on the fence about, you know, am I ready for a frameless backpack? Well, here's the beauty of this thing. This can be a frameless backpack. Now, it still has the closed cell foam in the back where your back is, but you can actually take the carbon stays out, or not the carbon stays, the aluminum stays out very, very easily. They're just kind of Velcroed in a sheath, like a sword kind of thing. So that comes out. So if you're not ready for a frameless pack, but want to try a pack from Light AF, you can pick up one of these, and when you're ready to go frameless, take the frame out and then use it as a frameless pack. That way you're not buying things twice once you outgrow this, or if you want to use it for summer use, low base weight use, you take the frame out, and then in the winter when your gear gets a little heavier, you put the frame in. Now, I will have a first looks at this in a little bit more in depth. I don't want to go too far into it now just because I honestly haven't had a chance to take a look at it myself. It came last week in the midst of this whole Kira crisis, and I just didn't want anything to do with anything. I was down, man. I was really, really down. More than I thought I would ever be in my life. So we'll take a look at this pack next week. And speaking of Chris from Light AF, we are actually planning a trip together, which is going to be awesome. It is going to be of the Loyal Sock Trail, which you guys have been hounding me to do for a long time now. And we're going to do it the first weekend of November. Probably do it in 3 days. It's a 59-mile trail in Pennsylvania, I think central Pennsylvania-ish. So it's going to be freaking beautiful. I hear a lot about all of the streams and little waterfalls, and it's going to be right around the time the leaves are going to start changing. It's going to be awesome. And the reason I haven't gotten out on a trip yet, most of you know this already, but some have gotten a little mad at me because I haven't been out on a trip yet, enough to send hate mail to me. It's like, oh, I see you have been off the AT for 2 months, but, you know, I don't see any trips coming from you. Well, as most of you know, I'm still in physical therapy. I am about 2.5 weeks in at this point, and it's going great. I can walk up and down the stairs with little to no discomfort, and it's just going wonderful. I see improvement, so I'm going to continue, but I'm thinking 2 more weeks of physical therapy, and then I'm ready to start my in-home workout stuff, which is going to be great because then I can kind of fix everything myself, start on my IT band exercises, and just get back to my normal workout routine. I'm 146 pounds. That needs to drop probably 8 or 9 pounds. I'd like to before the holiday season comes through because I want to eat some cookies. Anyway, lots of cool stuff coming up. We'll take a look at the pack next week, like I said. And for now, thanks for watching the status update. I appreciate it. And I'll give you some more substantial videos beginning next week again. So thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.